It's the very last day of 2019. Can you believe it? We've come a very long way, but we've done it together. And I'm so honored that once again, on this terrific Tuesday morning, you have agreed to come together with us here on the AM show to start our day right. And so good morning and thank you very much for joining us. My name is Kojo Yankson. I'm doing this with Mapito Sebidi today. We're missing Mamavi, we're missing Roland, but they will be back very soon. So how are we spending the last day of 2019 together? We've got a number of things we want to do. First of all, we have an important conversation. Roland Walker will tell us why he decided to have this conversation with this rather significant Ghanaian. And then, of course, we'll share that interview with you. Beyond that, though, you and I have our own conversation we need to have, okay? So we started yesterday. We were asking you what was your biggest story for 2019. We're going to continue that today. But we've been out on the streets speaking to some of our friends to find out what their biggest story was for the year 2019. You will be fascinated by the answers they gave us. We also have been asking people an important question. So on social media, we started a sentence and we want you to finish the sentence. So we say, 2020 will be my year if, okay, and then you finish the sentence. So for example, 2020 will be my year if the cedi gains value, or 2020 will be my year if I can get a degree. 2020 will be my year if I can get married. 2020 will be my year if I can get divorced. Whatever it is that your hope and prayer is for 2020, put that at the end of our sentence, and we'll be talking about the results of that later on the show. But we'll be bringing you what the people say are their biggest stories for 2020, the people including you and some of the big names who also have been featuring on our show throughout the year. Now, we started the Takoradi saga, the big adventure that Maps and Komla Adum went on over Christmas. So much content has come out of that experience, and we'll be bringing you the second part of their Takoradi Christmas rendezvous here on the AM show today. So it's a packed one, super packed with lots and lots of content, all for your enjoyment. My goodness, that thing definitely improved Maps' face, no doubt. We'll be talking about that and more later on the AM show. Right, let's do the message from the morning man. And today's message is called Sharp. I once read a story about a girl who fell in love with a fisherman. She was so excited on the day he proposed to her, and she skipped all the way home to tell her parents. A fisherman? Her father bellowed with disgust. Are you out of your mind? In a town full of lawyers and doctors and engineers and accountants, you want to insult your father by marrying a fisherman? Over my dead body. There's no way I'm going to have a useless fisherman for a son-in-law. The girl was heartbroken. She begged and pleaded and cried, but Daddy wouldn't budge. She took her fisherman sweetheart to meet her mother, but Mommy was even worse. After all the money we spent sending you to school, this is how you choose to repay us? Your sisters are all married to professors, priests, and politicians, but you dare to bring a fisherman into our home? What a disgrace. The young girl and her fisherman lover were both heartbroken. They couldn't imagine life without each other, so she begged him to run away with her, get married in some other town, and never talk to her parents again. But he convinced her not to. That would truly insult and disgrace your parents, he said. So instead, they broke up. Later that year, the rains came like never before. The whole town was flooded, property was destroyed, lives were lost, and hundreds of people, including the girl's family, were stranded in their homes without food or water for days. Now, guess who was the only one with a boat? That's right, the useless, disgraceful fisherman. He turned up at their house when they were most desperate, when their food had run out and all the professors, priests, and politicians were riddled with illness and in need of medication. He loaded them all into his boat and took them safely to the next town. The girl's father grabbed the fisherman by the hand and said, thank you, my son. The fisherman smiled at him and said, your son? I'm still a fisherman. Too useless and disgraceful to be your son. My dear friends, in our society, we believe that some people are more important than others. I mean, let's not deny it. When a security guard walks into our place of work, we treat them differently from how we treat a CEO. That's because we assign a lower importance to the security guard. That's our nature. So let's not spend too much time disputing it simply because it doesn't sound like the Christian thing to do. We all do it. Is there really any one of us hearing this message today who doesn't consider themselves a better human being than, say, a prostitute or a homeless person? But how wrong we all are. If life should teach us anything, it should be the fact that we all serve a unique purpose. The doctors are just as important as the drivers. The lawyers are just as important as the laborers. And the politicians are definitely no more valuable than the people. We each have a unique purpose that no other person fulfills, and this is what makes us all equal. The razor blade is sharp, but it can't cut a tree. The axe is sharp too, but it can't cut hair. We all have our functions in life, but if we remember that what we do is no more important than what others are called to do, perhaps we'll finally start to build that enlightened society that we all dream of. And for those of us who claim to be Christians, while maltreating our house helps, abusing our drivers, and looking down our nose on everyone in between, perhaps we don't really aim to be Christ-like. Because as for Christ, that dude, he hung out with prostitutes all day long. Plus, his 12 best friends were all homeless guys. Oh, and a couple of them were fishermen too. Yeah, think about that. My name is Kojo Yankson, and I may be sharp, but I can't cut what you cut. For that, I respect you, whoever you may be. Good morning, Ghana folk.